Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm Dr. Tayyeba Ikram, working as a consultant psychiatrist in Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences, Faisalabad Medical University. I'm going to discuss about medically unexplained physical symptoms, which is a very common presentation in out and inpatients departments. This is a case scenario. We have a 24 years old college female student presented with headache, fatigue, shortness of breath, and dizziness for the last 3 days. She is not known to have any comorbidities. As you check his previous visits, you found that she had frequent visits for the past 3 years with same complaints and no organic cause for her symptoms could be found. The objective of this detailed discussion is, we do have few objectives: definition of somatic form disorder, clinical manifestations and diagnostic criteria of somatoform disorders, the effect of culture to the presentation, and somatoform disorders. I would just like to highlight the importance of this topic. This is a very common presentation in there are a lot of investigations done. The doctors have to do a lots of brainstorming to find out the reason of symptoms, and so we need to be able to find out that there is a phenomenon where there could be medically unexplained symptoms out of some other reasons, and that's why this topic is so important. So what we call as medically unexplained symptoms are actually the conditions characterized by symptoms without corresponding objective findings or medical explanations. There can be a number of types of somatic symptom and related disorders. They include somatic symptom disorder, conversion disorder, psychological factors affecting other medical conditions, factitious disorder, other specified somatic symptom and related disorder, unspecified somatic symptom and related disorders. So there is a list of classification of conditions where we can have medically unexplained symptoms. Somatic symptom disorder presents when psychological or emotional distress is manifested in the form of physical symptoms that are otherwise medically unexplained. The prevalence of somatic symptom disorder in the general population is 5 to 7%, making this one of the most common categories of patient concerns in primary care setting. And 20 to 25% of patients who present with acute somatic symptoms go on to develop chronic somatic illness. Females tend to present with somatic symptom disorders more commonly, and the ratio is 10:1. Risk factors are being of female, fewer years of education, low socioeconomic status, or other social stressors that might be contributing. If there is a history of childhood chronic illness, history of adverse life events, for example, being sexually abused or other childhood and adult traumatic events, concurrent general medical disorders, concurrent psychiatric disorders. So this is very important thing, that sometimes unexplained somatic symptoms can be a part of depression and anxiety disorders. If there is a family history of chronic illness. So these are the risk factors which we need to know, so that we may need to have a picture of why this patient is having unexplained somatic symptoms. This is a table depicting the somatization in primary care, and it shows some results of some studies, and it shows some certain criteria according to which people are classified, having social groups, education, employment, and economy. And it shows us that it is more common in unskilled population, more common in lower levels of education, in unemployed, and people having problems economically. So this is the evidence that shows us that these factors are contributing to somatic symptoms disorder. There are certain clinical features of somatic symptoms disorder. For example, one or more current somatic symptoms that are long-lasting and cause distress or psychological or psychosocial impairment. and excessive thoughts, worrying, or behaviors, time and energy related to symptoms or to health concerns. ये पेशेंट्स जब आपके पास आते हैं, यूजुअली दे हैव अ बंडल ऑफ फाइल्स ऑफ investigations, going to doctors, visiting general physicians. So they do have a lot of anxiety about their illness, and it makes them even more anxious when they come to know that nothing has been found out and there is no investigation that shows that they have a problem. They become even more worried rather than becoming reassured, and they feel that there is something that cannot be diagnosed and treated as well. So they can be having pain symptoms, non-specific symptoms of fatigue, syncope, and dizziness, gastrointestinal symptoms, cardiac symptoms, having chest pain, shortness of breath, which can be very, very anxiety provoking, neurological symptoms, and reproductive organ symptoms. So this is interesting. How can a spectrum of symptoms present as non-medically unexplainable? We do have a defined criteria for somatic symptom disorder, in which there is a major criteria that one or more somatic symptoms which are distressing or result in significant disruption of daily life, and having excessive thoughts or behaviors related to those symptoms, and manifested by at least one of the following, like disproportionate persistent thoughts about seriousness of illness, persistent high level of anxiety about health or symptoms, excessive time and energy devoted to symptoms or health concerns. Although any one somatic symptom may not be continuously present, the state of being asymptomatic is persistent, typically more than 6 months. Being symptomatic is persistent. इसका मतलब ये है कि ये 1, 2 and 3 जो क्राइटेरिया A and B जो शो किया गया है, इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी कि इनके ये तमाम सिम्टम्स एक वक्त में मौजूद हो, और ये भी जरूरी नहीं है कि इनमें से कोई एक सिम्टम ही परसिस्टेंट हो. मुमकिन है सिम्टम्स की नौयत बदले, बट बीइंग सिम्टोमेटिक इज देयर फॉर मोर देन 6 months. स्पेसिफिकली स्पेसिफायर्स हैं कि एक प्रेडोमिनेटली पेन डिसऑर्डर हो, परसिस्टेंट सिम्टम्स हो, फिर उनकी सेवेरिटी है जिसमें उन्हें माइल्ड, मॉडरेट और सीवियर के लिहाज से क्लासिफाई किया गया है, और ये मेडिकली अनएक्सप्लेन्ड भी हो, और इतने डिस्टर्बिंग हो कि one's personal, social and occupational life is being disturbed by them. This is an interesting concept जिसको हम briefly touch करेंगे, culture bound syndromes. ये स्टडीज पे शेयर की गई हुई है, और एक क्रॉस कल्चरल पर्सपेक्टिव और उसका जो मेन एब्स्ट्रैक्ट आपके लेवल के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है वो ये है कि वन ऑफ द मेजर स्टडीज ऑन द क्रॉस cultural aspect of somatization is WHO collaborative study of psychological problems in general healthcare to examine the relationship between current symptoms and current psychological distress. The results of the study showed a generally similar pattern of association between physical symptoms and psychological distress among patients from Western and non-Western countries, indicating that cultural factors might not affect the rate of somatization. So this is an interesting study. एक फिनोमेनन होता है जिसे हम कल्चर बाउंड सिंड्रोम कहते हैं, जिसके अंदर ये बताया जाता है कि कुछ पर्टिकुलर सिम्टम्स या कुछ पर्टिकुलर फिनोमेना एक खास कल्चर में ज्यादा कॉमनली देखे जाते हैं. मिसाल के तौर पर डिसोसिएटिव सिम्टम्स ज्यादा कॉमनली ईस्टर्न कंट्रीज में, इंडो पाक कल्चर में ज्यादा कॉमनली नजर आते हैं रादर देन वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज. कुछ मलेशियन और साउथ ईस्ट एशियन कंट्रीज के अंदर रनिंग अमैक एक फिनोमेनन है जिसके अंदर a person becomes very aggressive all of a sudden and just develops psychotic like features all of a sudden without any explanation. एक phenomena है जो particularly culture से related है. Brain fag एक example है जो कि African countries के अंदर नजर आता है कि people feel that their brain is not very clear, they cannot focus, they are having symptoms of headache, insomnia and being not able to focus well, उसको वो ब्रेन फैग का नाम देते हैं. अब ये जो कल्चरली जो बाउंड सिंड्रोम्स हैं ये वेल नोन फिनोमेनन है, लेकिन ये स्टडी बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग है जो ये शो कर रही है कि लेवल ऑफ स्ट्रेस और एंजाइटी व्हेन इट वाज सेम, तो कोई डिफरेंस नहीं देखा गया डिफरेंट कल्चर्स के दरमियान में. इट वर सिमिलर सिम्टम्स इन डिफरेंट कल्चर्स. वेस्टर्न एंड नॉन वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज के अंदर the cultural factors were not playing much role in affecting the rate of somatization. How we approach a patient with somatic symptom disorders. We shall be taking the same scenario of a 24 years old college female student who presented with headache, fatigue, shortness of breath and dizziness for last 3 days and not known to have any comorbidities. How will you approach this patient? Like any patient who presents to you, taking a generally detailed medical history with a full review of symptoms, taking a psychiatric history, performing a physical and mental state examination. What are the symptoms? How are symptoms affecting her life? If there is excessive thoughts, worries or behaviors related to these symptoms, if there is a past illness which could be taken by from the patient or past medical record, current medications, family history of serious disease. ये भी एक important phenomenon है. अगर family में किसी को serious illness हो, तो sometimes patients become distressed, they internalize the symptoms. किसी को family में heart attack हुआ and the person died or some adverse consequences resulted, तो उससे भी sometimes patients present, I am having chest pain. उस दूसरे रिलेशन के सिम्टम्स को इंटरनलाइज करना, ये भी एक वेल नोन फिनोमिनन है. साइकाइट्रिक डिसऑर्डर्स के साथ भी इसकी एक एसोसिएशन है. पेशेंट्स हु आर हैविंग एंजाइटी एंड हु आर हैविंग डिप्रेशन, दे आर मोर प्रोन टू डेवलप सोमैटिक सिम्टम डिसऑर्डर. और physical examination. Physical examination is very important, not to miss anything. Sometimes labeling too early कि इसको कोई physical problem नहीं है, it's not something good for the patient. So we need to do things in great details, because this is actually a diagnosis of exclusion of physical symptoms and organicity. So we need to be very careful and detailed as well. So we do have some screening methods. We do have some scales which help us in assessing these patients. Some of them I shall be briefly showing to you here. For example, we do have the somatic symptom scale. इसमें सिर्फ 8 items हैं और it's easy to apply. और इसके अंदर हमारे पास एक 0 से 4 के ऊपर, जैसे एक लाइकेट स्केल होता है, 0 से 4 के ऊपर हम सेवेरिटी को क्लासिफाई करते हैं पेशेंट के सिम्टम्स को लेके. वी डू हैव अ लिस्ट ऑफ सिम्टम्स जो कि 8 ग्रुप्स में क्लासिफाई किए गए, और उसकी सेवेरिटी को हम असेस करते हैं और एंड पे हम उसे स्कोर करते हैं और फिर स्कोर को हम असेस करते हैं. अगर 0 से 3 तक है तो देयर आर नन टू मिनिमल सिम्टम्स, लो आर 4 to 7, medium 8 to 11 and high 12 to 15 and very high is 16 to 30. So this is just a brief thing. This is not related to your, you don't need to memorize this thing, but this is an example of how we can assess these symptoms. Another good screening tool is patient health questionnaire. This is a questionnaire which again helps us in assessing symptoms. We do have few other symptom groups added up here, so this is more detailed. This is an important slide. Please focus here. History of present illness is vague, inconsistent, and healthcare concerns are rarely alleviated despite high utilization of medical care, reassurance, and explanation. Multiple courses of standard treatment fail to mitigate the symptoms. Normal physical sensations are attributed to medical illness and seeking care from multiple doctors. वही बात जो पहले भी डिस्कस हुई कि डॉक्टर शॉपिंग, multiple investigations, being very worrisome about the symptoms and thinking that there's something wrong which is not being diagnosed. This will give you a cue that there could be a somatic symptom disorder. Criteria for selective use of tests includes objective signs rather than volume of concerns expressed by the patient, the presence of complex symptoms and persistence of symptoms. So, the first line of treatment is non-pharmacological. And why? Because if we go to the drugs in the first place, sometimes we reinforce the feeling of the patient that there is something wrong with them physically. So we go to the non-pharmacological approach first of all, which is called CARE-MD approach to somatic symptom disorder, in which the first component is consultation, which is psychiatrically or cognitive behavioral therapy. The next one is assessment, evaluation for other medical and physical psychiatric disorders, and regular visits, empathizing, medical psychiatric interference, and do not harm, limit the diagnostic testing and referrals to subspecialties, reassure the patient that serious medical diseases have been ruled out. So, इसका कोर क्या है, इंपॉर्टेंट बात क्या है, ये एक अप्रोच का वे है, कुछ एरियाज हैं जो कि अच्छे से लिस्ट किए गए हैं कि सबसे पहले कंसल्टेशन देना, जिसमें आपने डिसाइड करना है कि उसकी सीबीटी की जाएगी, क्या साइकोथेरेपी हेल्पफुल होगी, असेसमेंट करना, रेगुलर विजिट्स हो, एम्पैथाइज किया जाए, उसको कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं करेंगे आप कि दिस इज देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग, एंड नाइदर फॉल्स रीअश्योर करेंगे कि भाई कुछ नहीं है, आप ठीक है. You will empathize. I understand that it's difficult for you. I understand that you are in pain, but we could not find out a reason. आप उसको reason दे के explain करने की कोशिश करेंगे कि everything has been fine up till now. Tests are fine. So what do you think about it? Let the patient reflect on it rather than confrontation. In the second place, we can think about pharmacological therapy, and it is mostly indicated for patients who are having resistant symptoms and who are having comorbid psychiatric disorders. If a patient is having depression, anxiety, or OCD, until and unless we treat the underlying disorder, we will not treat the symptoms, somatic symptoms. So we can take help of tricyclic, antidepressants, SSRIs or SNRIs, all of them are antidepressants. Psychiatric referral to the specialist if previous treatment is still not effective. How we counsel the patient. यहाँ पे हमें क्लियर होना चाहिए कि एक घर का फर्द जैसे रेशो करार और एक टेक्निकल पर्सन कैसे काउंसिल करता है, इसमें फर्क है. Provide explanation, reassurance by being told. The symptoms they have are common, rarely associated with serious disease. Symptoms are real and doctor is familiar with them. Often settle with time, need not to be impediment to an active life, can be reviewed again whether symptoms persist. यानी एक उसको इंफॉर्मेशनल केयर और तफसील फराहम करना जो कि एविडेंस बेस्ड हो, एक दलील और रीजनिंग के साथ हो, तो पेशेंट समटाइम बेहतर समझ पाते हैं रादर देन सेइंग कि देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग. डिस्कस द ट्रीटमेंट प्लान, एग्री, फॉलो अप, एग्रीमेंट, उसको भी अपने उस ट्रीटमेंट के प्लान में आप शामिल कीजिए. क्योंकि जब ज्यादातर ये पेशेंट्स आपके पास आते हैं, एक ऐसे हेल्थ केयर सेटिंग से होकर आ रहे हैं जहां पर ज्यादातर डिसीजन मेकिंग एक फिजिशियन खुद करता है. when you involve them in the treatment plans, it really helps. It gives them comfort, it lowers down their anxiety, it makes them feel that they're being empathized, they're being involved in the treatment. 50 to 75% of patients with the medically unexplained symptom disorder show improvement. This is a good thing about this disorder, and 10 to 30% will deteriorate. Better prognostic indicators include having fewer physical symptoms and better functioning at the baseline. So these are a few good prognostic factors which, if there, can point towards a better prognosis. This is a well-known phenomenon, and we do have quite substantial literature available on this topic. And thank you very much for your patient listening, and I'm happy to answer your questions if any. Please drop them in the comments box and I shall try to respond to your questions. Thank you very much for listening.